Hello, welcome back to Examining Life, a life that's worth living. My name is Amanda, and today I am in Boston Common. I'm so excited to get back after a 2-year hiatus during the pandemic to conducting public interviews. And today's question is, what wisdom did you learn during the pandemic? And please be sure to like and subscribe.
I think during the pandemic I learned that, it doesn't matter. Do the things that you want to do. If you have a new hobby or a new passion or something you're interested in, just go out and do it, It's, I think we get scared to do things that we want to do because of what we perceive other people will think. Don't worry about it.
What wisdom did you learn during the pandemic?
I learned that life is very precious. Take it one day at a time.
For sure. Thank you so much.
I learned to not worry about everything and just focus on doing things that I have to do, like school and having fun. Worry about being happy.
Very good. What wisdom did you learn during the pandemic?
During the pandemic, I got really interested in Stoicism. I really sort of focused on a lot of meditation and learning about how the things that we can control are ourselves. And those are the things that really matter. And so that really helped me stay calm during the pandemic.
I learned a lot about myself and others during the pandemic. I learned that culture matters. For instance, cultures that wanted to band together and help others, they did, and they acted as a community, while people, I noticed an enormous amount of people were selfish and closed-minded, which was sad to me because I wanted more people to be open-minded and think about the consequences of their actions as opposed to how they felt.
And how were those cultures formed, or what defined those cultures?
A lot of political divide formed cultures. I also learned that if you sat and you listened to people, it really helped. So listening to everyone helps, regardless of whether or not you agree with them or not. If you sat down and listened and I questioned them, that's it. And people were much more receptive than me just telling them they were wrong.
Do you have any other wisdom you'd like to share?
Just take care of each other. That's the biggest thing. Just take care of each other. Don't worry so much about, people you cannot physically touch, physically communicate with. Just arm's reach, right? So the people close to you, and then that'll cascade out.
I think I learned that no matter how hard things are, we are not alone, that God is with us, other people are with us. We can create community. We can reach out with what we've been given to whoever is in our path. Make a better world, hopefully. I think that there are people in our individual lives that I always have an eye out for. And also I have tried with our church to reach out to Common Cathedral and make sandwiches for them where they come over here. We do that once every couple of months. Our church also participated in the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute walk on Mother's Day. And so just make it an effort wherever you are, whenever you are, that you move forward through it.
Well, what wisdom did you learn during the pandemic?
I learned that when people say they can't do something and it's available, they can, they just don't want to. There was all kinds of misinformation about how COVID affected you based on your background. My neighbor showed me studies that showed if people thought it affected a certain background more, they actually would take it less seriously depending on their own prejudices. White, black, or Hispanic, whatever. It was actually kind of jarring to me to see that. But one thing I did love seeing, there was this overall push towards kindness. Suddenly all these things that for years people and companies said they couldn't do, they're doing.
So what wisdom did you learn during the pandemic?
The thing I learned was that Americans are surprisingly easy to control. That the news and the authorities said stop working, stop serving other people, stop going to church, stop going to concerts, stop being around each other. And for the most part, all of us kind of just went, okay, and had a really hard time getting back together with that.
And then also because the people that resisted that were kind of also looked down upon, but it was kind of like the people who resisted, not to say that they didn't care about health, but that was kind of one of the arguments was oh, you don't care about your health or other people's health and that sort of thing. So what is that balance between, it was a public health emergency, so, but then at the same time not necessarily being compliant. So like, how do you
That's a
balance those?
That's a great question. That's not a problem you can solve. It's a tension you have to manage. And it, like, I mean, I was in a weird little pocket of rural Texas where like the vast majority of us out there, we weren't participating. Like I took zero precautions. I've never purchased a mask. Like if somebody asked me to wear one out of respect, of course, you know, I mean, I'll put it on, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, you felt like you're being portrayed as a jerk that didn't care about people. And you know, a lot of people I knew had caught COVID. I knew one person, a very close family member, that their death was attributed to that, though frankly none of us in the family really felt like that was what kind of took them over that line right there. Certainly it wasn't out of lack of caring, but it felt that way, and there was like a weird kind of way to try to balance that, just because I really think that like it's really hard to quantify the secondary effects of the response that we had, but I think there's going to be a terrible wave of stupid as a parent of kids in high school and middle school during that time. I worry deeply about how our productivity as a community and as a country was affected by this. I'm not saying it's all BS. I mean, it's a real sickness. I mean, I had friends that went in the ICU that like they got worked over. You know, I know people that had a really hard time. And yet the disruption to education, to community, to like mental health and like those kind of things. And it's kind of crazy that like, I don't know that we're less likely to respond like we did in light of the fact that most people had similar experiences with their peer groups. I never really trusted the media a lot, but now like nobody really feels like they can trust any of it, which is kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like journalism used to be a major, and they taught you like journalistic integrity and like how to, you know, present your bias so that people knew like where that was coming from. It's not even on the table anymore. It doesn't even exist.
Thank you so much for watching today. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to let me know in the comments below what wisdom you learned during the pandemic. Thank you. Bye.